Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams, and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. You're going to hear amazing things anytime you get quiet. Divine is inviting you to meditate, to get silent, to hear the voice of your higher self, because it has a lot to say. That's why I heard that crackling, okay, that popping. Spirit is definitely coming through very strongly with this message that there's a lot that they want to share with you. These are your ancestors, your spirit allies, but also initially what came through was your higher self has messages for you. So your soul is going to speak to you, okay? And all that you have to do is get quiet. As soon as you turn off the noise, as soon as you go within, it's gonna be right there, okay? Your soul is talking to you. So let's see what this is like. What thank you, Spirit. I invite this divine energy to come through with whatever is meant for you to hear at this time. Thank you, Spirit. What does this beautiful being need to know regarding this energy? I feel like it's in reverse. Yeah, it turned in the reverse. Learning from social conflict. There's something that's over and done regarding a social conflict. You've learned what you needed to know. Loving the self on all levels. Okay, so there's something here about turning away from paying attention to external conflict and going within. Divine is saying you've learned every lesson that you needed to learn about some sort of conflict that was going on. You got the meat and potatoes, okay? You got everything that you could get from that. Because there's some kind of way, like there was a conflict that somebody was bringing to your door. That's what I'm hearing. They were bringing it to your door. So this could have been something related to family or something related to a community, a neighborhood. But somebody was bringing something to your door that could have been literal or it could have been figurative, okay? But they were bringing you conflict, but there was, I'm hearing there were a lot of ways in which you were meant to extract the energy from that conflict, because you win. You win. It's almost as if you turned a situation that was designed by other people to make you lose, and you flipped it. You flipped it. Like house flipping. That's what I'm getting. Like it's all about coming to your door with conflict, and then like you flipped it. Like you took a rundown house and you gutted it and made it brand new, and you sold it for like 3 times what you paid for it. It's something about, like, that's the vibe of what you did with this situation. Spirit says because you got it like that. I know that's right. Thank you, Spirit. Yes. So yeah, alchemy. That message comes through for this divine collective all the time, because you are master alchemists, and I love that. There's nothing better than taking something that was meant to bring you down and using it to ascend. Okay, thank you, Divine. Yeah, it's something about loving the self on all levels. Divine says, look at what you've done. How could you not love yourself? Spirit is really like, oh wow, it's like your higher self is just singing to you this beautiful song, letting you know how amazing you are. They just keep saying, look at what you've done. How could you not love yourself? Look, even this right here looks like a bird. So you might connect with the bird spirits. I don't know, it looks like a bird to me, like a wing, you know? Kind of looks like a bird. These images in this deck are very abstract. I love that. Because you can see it however you see it. Yeah, it really does look like a bird though. Like, look, that's the head. That's a wing. That's a wing. It does look like a bird there. So there's something about allowing your thoughts to make you fly. You can fly because of the thoughts that you have. Like, your thought energy can be so light that you use it to propel yourself to the next level. Because that's the level of mastery that you have within your mental space. There's something that was projected towards you that was meant to make you doubt yourself, but you turned it around in a way where Spirit is saying, step back, look at what you did with that energy, and identify all the ways in which you defeated what was meant to defeat you. So earlier today I was watching this video. I was just like going through my news feed, and there was this video by a young lady who was talking about living a life where she had been isolated. And I only watched like the first 30 seconds, like in the preview, you know, and then I just kept flipping, but it was like somehow I knew where she was going with it. It was like I already knew, and I love the direction that I could tell she was going in, but this is what I'm seeing with you. It's like you were isolated, but that isolation helped you to learn who you are. If you had had all of the noise, all of the static, all of the distractions of people around you wanting to be in your face and constantly tugging on your arm to go with them and, oh, do this with me, then you would not have been left here where at first you were like, hey, let me in, and then you were like, okay, nobody's coming. Well, what are we gonna do now, self? We're gonna make this work. And you did, you made it work. And so there's never a situation now where you will feel alone, because you already went through a period of isolation and you made it work for you. You learned to win in that isolated state, and so you got to know yourself on a really deep level, and you can always be with yourself and be okay. The Master, and it's in reverse. When you were isolated, that was the goal. Like, somebody wanted you to not be able to master something. That was the goal. They wanted you to feel guilty, but I'm getting that now there's someone who feels guilty for what they did because you made the situation work. If you hadn't made it work for you, they'd be sitting back laughing. Because that was the goal. The goal was to have you like this. Okay? But you did what you needed to do. And that is the reason why they feel guilty now. There would be no guilt if their trickery had won. If their trickery had succeeded. There's something here about slowing down. Perhaps this isolation led you to a state where you had to slow down and figure things out, because you didn't have a group around you helping you figure things out, so you had to figure it out on your own. This could have led to some exhaustion. But you know what I'm also getting is that isolation was a remedy for some exhaustion that you were already feeling. You could have been feeling tired of something about society, perhaps all of these experiences that you've had with the Matrix, you were just kind of like, ugh, I'm kind of done. So in a way, that isolation, you welcomed it because you were low-key tired of dealing with a lot of different types of personalities that were very difficult to deal with. It was like a pain, you know? It was a pain. You got really good at like being under pressure, learning how to make things work. With this suppression card and the miser, it's like you gained stability during a situation that was supposed to put you under pressure. With suppression there. And I'm thinking of that, it's like some kind of thriller movie where it's like a bunch of walls, a bunch of rooms, the back rooms, that's what it is. And I haven't seen it, I don't know if it's out yet, but in one of the trailers, it looks like this woman is running through these, a hallway where the walls are closing in on her. If you're not familiar with it, back rooms is like some kind of thriller where it's like this other dimension that people get caught in or stuck in, and it's just a bunch of rooms and mazes, and then there's like these creepy monsters. It's interesting, but I'm just seeing that with suppression here. It's like the goal was someone wanted to make you feel like the walls were closing in, but that made you really assess what you had to work with. There could have been somebody here who wanted to cut you off from a resource. They wanted to make you feel like you didn't have access to something that you needed. And so it was when you were under pressure that you learned the skills that you needed in order to make the most of what you had. And I didn't even realize I was gazing into my Jupiter poster. So you turned a situation that was supposed to make you feel like a miser, like you didn't have anything, or like you couldn't access the wealth that you needed. You found a way to transform that into your abundance with Jupiter coming through. Jupiter was supporting you through this, okay? That energy, that frequency of wealth, of abundance, of good fortune, because it's with you no matter what situation you're in. And that's what, whoever was attacking you, that's what they couldn't stop, was your naturally abundant energy. You will always have access to what you need because you're divine. And so they couldn't stop you. They couldn't block you. You've got innocence and guidance here. So all of these cards, like in some way, they seem very negative, but I see how you turned it around and used it for your gain, in order to gain strength, in order to gain the ability to turn a problem into a success. At the time, you may not have thought that that's what you were doing, but it is, okay? And that's how you are loving all of yourselves. You're loving all of these instances of you turning a negative into a positive. Not to sound corny, but that's exactly what you were doing, okay? There's something about you keeping things simple. You never made things too complicated. Also, you're a friend of nature. So when people were isolating you, alienating you, or trying to do that, you were communing with the fairies, okay? You were talking to the animal spirits. You were talking to your ancestors, listening to them. And that could be why that message came through, that, you know, it's like Spirit was like, when you get silent, your higher self is going to speak to you. This is about your clairaudience, beautiful being. You have the gift of clairaudience. That's why Spirit said that the spirits will speak to you when you're quiet. That could be something that has gotten you through this situation. I feel like Divine is reminding you of your gift of clairaudience. when you're quiet, you will hear the voices of spirit speaking to you, whether it's your higher self or an animal spirit or an ancestor or a deity, okay? And they're here to give you guidance. But this is also one way that you have made it through this situation where people were trying to suppress you, where you were listening, you were paying attention. Divine says that that's one way that you win. It's a big way in which you win in life, is you get quiet and you hear the voice of God, of Goddess. And that's why you always know which way to go. You know when to stand still. You know when to sit still. You know when to move left, to move right, to move forward. You know. You be knowing. Yeah, this is a gift that you have. And this has led to death and transformation. There's something that is done because you did what you needed to do. You brought something to an end. Oh, I'm hearing a hall of horrors. Is that even a thing? A hall of horrors? It's something about like a maze, like, because back rooms came through and then hall of horrors. But it's usually hall of mirrors, right? But it's something about illusions where somebody wanted you to feel like you were stuck in a maze of just awful things happening. I'm so sorry, because that's like, I don't want to say sorry because like you did turn it into something wonderful, but it's just like sometimes when this energy comes through in a reading and I'm like, I'm sorry that that's what someone tried to do. But I'm grateful that you used it to become strong and to become wise and to use the wisdom that you already had, because you already were wise to make it through this. But you've become even wiser. There's something here about being able to relax now with this laziness card and inner voice. Divine is saying that things don't have to be as hard as they may seem sometimes. This laziness card is actually a positive thing, because Divine is saying fall back. It's okay. There might be something that you thought you had to work really hard with, but because you are listening to that inner voice, something is going to be so much easier than you thought. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is listen. And this leads to your success. So it's so beautiful that you have the gift of clairaudience. For whoever this message is meant, you have the gift of clairaudience, and it is coming through. I mean, even hearing, like, as I'm talking now, it sounds like I'm hearing an echo within my own self. It's because that is your gift coming alive in my consciousness right now. I'm hearing an echo. It's like Divine definitely speaks to you in a very powerful way. Okay? Alright, let's see what is coming through here in this deck. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What do they need to know? Storm warning. And see, that's why the laziness and inner voice card came through, because they're like, and you're already guaranteed success as long as you listen to the voice of the Divine. It's not going to shake you. What is this storm warning, Divine? The temple path. It's something about your true path. You'll have a new perspective about it, because this is card 12, and that's the Hanged Man. You're gaining a new perspective regarding your divine path. What is this storm warning, Spirit? Attachment. Okay, that's card 5. So there's a change regarding an attachment. Someone wanting you to be all tied up. Oh, that's like the suppression card. Someone wanted you tied up and suppressed. What is this storm warning? 7th chakra. This is your crown chakra, and it was on the fence. So there's somebody who wants to gain access to your crown chakra. That's why you're being guided to listen to your higher self. because you're going to know. You're going to know. This is someone who wants to remain attached to you. Let's get some information. I'm so grateful that the success card already came through. So we already know how this ends up. And you are successful because you're listening to the voice within. What else is coming through, Spirit? For this beautiful being to know about this storm warning. Positive imprint. I choose to leave a positive imprint of light in the world through my thoughts, words, and deeds. So Divine is saying that when you notice someone trying to suppress you or trying to remain attached to you, remain in your integrity. Okay, stand in your integrity. I'm hearing don't get down and dirty like them, because that's what they want. This is a person, okay, it's an energy vampire. This is a being who wants to attack you in a way that seems so like almost innocent, but they want to trigger something within you that would have you going to the left. In other words, you would get so like beside yourself. I literally see you coming out of yourself, standing beside yourself, and like speaking in a way that you would regret later, or acting in a way that you would regret later. That's what this person wants, because they want to have control over you. They want to have access to your energy. Okay, so you're going to remain just like, remember I said not to sound corny, but you turned negatives into positives. That's all you got to do in this situation, is do what you've been doing. It ain't nothing new. You're already successful. You already can do it. And so this is just like a person trying to test you. Okay, they're saying go to this deck. They want to test you. What's this, Spirit? Please clarify this. Yeah, you have, oh, look, I asked for clarification and they're like, you got clarity. Spirit getting sassy. Okay. We got signs. You'll see the signs. You're gonna know when this person is gearing up to try to come at you. I'm hearing they are gonna make it so obvious because they have no mystery. This person that's trying to siphon your energy, they already are they're not in their right mind. So that's why you're gonna see them clear as day. Clear as day. Like, there is no mystery to this person. You're gonna see them coming. You're gonna literally be there like, You're like 10 steps ahead. I want to say light years ahead, but in this actual situation, I see you as like 10 steps ahead. You are going to either see them coming to you, or you're going to get some sort of sign that they're going to reach out in some sort of communication. Okay, how is this person trying to trigger this beautiful being? Well, the reason why they're doing this is because they see that you're aligned and they want to test you. They're sitting there saying, it couldn't be real, it couldn't be real. I see somebody like in their bed not doing anything. Now, they could actually, that laziness card, they are actually coming through as very lazy. Spirit brought that card through for you, saying that you can just relax. You don't have to work hard. You've already done the hard work, and so you have already built that skill within you where you have the self-control that you need to not go off and say something or do something that you would regret, that would take you out of your true frequency of peace and a sense of calm. But this person, I see them as a habitually lazy person, and they might be doing things like trying to attack you online or something like that, but they're doing it while they're being lazy because they're focusing on you. So clearly, anybody who would be lazy, not do anything to love and nurture themselves and their own energy, but waste time on trying to project misery towards you, they clearly don't love themselves. Because if they did, they would harness their energy and use it towards building themselves up, right? So they're wasting their time and energy. Somebody who's in their bed, not doing anything, not being useful to humanity in any way, not nurturing themselves in any way, but still is finding the time to try to attack you. You tell me if they're worth your time. You tell me if they're worth your blood pressure. I think not. So it really is kind of a joke. It really is kind of a joke. But Divine is saying that the test regarding you is, see, they want to get you in balance, but they are out of balance. They are like this. And so that's why they want you like that as well. But here you are. You're good. You're balanced. Okay? You might do yoga. This is also a reminder to tend to your body, stretch, nurture yourself, take good care of your skin, moisturize yourself. I don't know why this is coming through. It sounds very personal, but it's coming through, so I'm saying it. Okay. But like, do what nurtures your well-being. Like, take really good care of yourself, because that's where this person is going wrong. They're not doing anything to make themselves feel loved. And so Divine wants you to do that for yourself. Okay? They want you to love on yourself. Love on you. Alright? Anything specific that needs to be known about this situation, Spirit? Yeah, this person has a lot of animosity. Whereas you have self-love. But that's why they feel so much animosity, is because they see you walking in your self-love. It came through to nurture your body. This person sees how you take good care of yourself. They see how you glow. They see how you take time to love on you, okay, to nurture you, and not in a superficial way, but in a way that truly makes you feel good. And instead of doing the same thing for themselves, they just rather sit back and waste time and hate on you. Well, that's their problem. They see your divinity, and that's why you're balanced, okay? So whatever it is that you're doing to nurture yourself, whether it's nurturing your well-being, your mental state through meditation, relaxation, just taking time to close your eyes and explore your imagination. All of these things are helping you to nurture your divine self. And that will help you in that moment whenever they approach you to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. They see you in your north node and they want you in your south node, but they can't. They don't have control over that, and they never will. Yeah, they want you in bondage because they miss having access to your energy. Also, I'm getting that their attempts to bind you, they've hit a brick wall. They know that there's no possibility. So now it's like they're ready to just act out. You know how, like, when a child gets so frustrated? I'm also getting like when like a sleepy child, gets like they need a nap, where they're just like flailing all around and they just need to go to sleep, Okay, so that's kind of how I'm seeing this person. Also, they could be very emotionally immature. That's why I'm seeing them as a child. But also, I saw them in bed, but they're not sleeping well because they're staying up obsessing over things that are none of their business. So that's one reason why they are getting to a place where they're like ready to lash out, because they're not getting sleep. See, you're doing self-love. You are doing acts of self-love. They are not. So that's why they are spiraling. But that's one reason why they're ready to crash out now, because it's too much energy that they've been giving to this situation. And the first cards that came out, Divine was saying that the social conflict is over. So that's why when I asked for clarification, they gave me the clarity card. The clarity is that you have done the work. You stay ready. As long as you continue doing the things that are nurturing your divine nature, your alignment, okay? I'm getting go out in nature, your self-love, you will stay ready for whatever it is this person is trying, because it can't harm you. It's just a little test. It's just a little test. And Divine does not want you to feel anxious at all or nervous at all, because all of those cards that came through, love, you have definitely proven that you are ready for this and anything else that this person might try, because it cannot harm you. You've been through the worst of it. And so they're just trying to pop back up for a little something. This person is having legal issues. That's another reason why they're ready to crash out. Okay. The list of reasons why they are spiraling is growing. I see why they're about to go gray. Okay. But what we have to remember is that their craziness is not your problem. So, yeah. But also with Courthouse, this is kind of like a justice card for me in this deck. And so things are being made fair for you. Yeah. Also, you have an ancestor that is fighting for your justice. This could be two ancestors. You might have family that is out of the country, outside of the country. Take what resonates, but did I say ancestors or family? I meant to say family, but you could have ancestors from another country that are from a different country than where you live at this time. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this person knows that they're headed towards imprisonment, and this could be spiritual imprisonment or actually like in the physical realm. But that's another reason why they've been so obsessed with trying to bind you, because they know that this is where they're headed. They wanted you to be in the same situation as them so badly. That's why they attacked you in the first place, was because they wanted to be above you. Now they're really mad because you took every single attack that they sent your way and you blossomed because of it. I mean, that was because of your choice. You could have allowed it to take you under, but you didn't. And so they are so mad because that just, do you know what that has done to their ego? Their ego was already fragile as hell. And you just took it and cracked it like an eggshell, because that's really the state of their ego anyway. It's so fragile. And it's not like you did that by attacking them. You just did it by being you. You did it by balancing your own energy. You did it by saying, okay, I see what you're doing, but I'm focused on me still. And I'm going to take this energy and transmute it and become everything that I desire to be. Strong, wise, healthy, nurtured. And you did it. You did it. You're trusted now. And the thing is that you're not only trusted, you trust yourself. You trust your ancestors and your spirit allies because you've been on such a journey with them. And the thing about it is that this person hates that you are trusted. They see that other beings trust you as a result of what they put you through. The energy they sent your way was supposed to discredit you, and now you're trusted by many. So you tell me if their plan worked. Okay. You tell me if it worked. Oh my gosh. I just keep getting that they feel like such a failure. And, you know, that's what it is. Okay, so manifestation flame. There's a flame that burns within you that helps you to manifest. It's your passion. It's the desire that you have to learn. It's the desire that you have to grow. This is what motivates you and inspires you to keep manifesting. Also, it's your self-love. Like, you're never going to stop doing what you're here to do, because you do it because you love yourself. You do it because you love the beautiful beings that surround you with love. Whoever it is that you are inspired by, that's who you do what you do for. You don't do it for your ego. You don't do it in order to chase clout. You know what I mean? This person had, or whoever it was that attacked you, they had a veil of deception because they were not seeing you clearly. And now they know that. Now they know that they never saw you clearly. They assumed that you would fold under the pressure. They assumed that with those walls crashing in with that suppression card, they thought that you would cave. They really, really did. There's something here about someone thinking that you were going to allow yourself to be suppressed and allow yourself to be in a state of fragility. And now their ego is, I'm hearing, it's destroyed, which sometimes that can be okay. If this person was relying so much on their ego, it can be okay to have a point in time where they don't even know who they are anymore. They're questioning, they're guessing, because it can be a turning point, right? It can either be a point in their life where they give up. Hopefully that's, not the case, or they can allow this breakdown, because I am getting the energy of a breakdown. It feels like this person is really, when I said crashing out, spirit is, yeah. This person wanted you to go crazy, but they are seriously having a breakdown. So they can use this as an opportunity to just be completely vulnerable and say, in a way, like not giving up on life, but in a way saying, I give up. In other words, I surrender. They need to surrender to the divine. If they're going to do it, this is the time when they would do it. Okay? But it's not your job to see them through that surrender, because I am seeing that they want to rear their head up again and pop up and try to do something that is not even going to be a threat to you. Okay? But spirit is letting you know that, yeah, see, storm of disruption. That's what they want to do, is create turmoil in your life, but their stability will be shattered by the chaos that they try to bring you. And that's the message. That is the ding, ding, ding. When they pop up, beautiful being, for this test, okay, this basically a crash out where they want to do something in order to disrupt your world because they are so angry at how you've transformed this energy, that's going to be the last straw for them. There's something about when they present their energy to you. It could be online, it could be in an email, it could be on the phone. They may try to come to you, but I'm not getting the energy of like you need to be like, there's nothing here like, oh, be afraid, because divine does not want you to be afraid, right? You are prepared for whatever's going to happen. The warning really is for them, because whatever it is that they're trying to bring you, they are going to go under because of it. This is the vibe I'm getting. It's not like an attack, like where they want to, like where they're prepared to destroy something for you. It's just the kind of like, like when somebody goes out and they go to a bar and they get drunk and they're hitting rock bottom. So maybe they get kicked out of the bar, or, maybe their keys get taken, and so they're just like wandering around, and they find themselves like outside your house and they're like, acting crazy. But it's like, are they really doing this? Let me call the cops. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that you need to be like living in fear over. It's just something that is going to be their rock bottom. That's what's coming through. Okay? Whatever this is, this last attempt where they're trying to like throw some energy your way, it really is going to indicate so much desperation on their part that it's like, somebody please help this child. That's gonna be the vibe. That's gonna be the vibe. It's almost gonna be a thing of like where that this person needs help, and as much as they've tried to cover up and pretend like they're okay and act like they're still doing all right, there are going to be no more questions that need to be asked, because everybody is going to know that this person has lost it. And of course that's not a happy thing, but The direction that they were going in, it wasn't happy either. Sometimes a rock bottom is what a person needs in order to change the trajectory of their life. Okay? So just know, Divine has already confirmed for you that this is your energy. Just remain in a positive state of mind. Continue to nurture yourself. And don't even focus on this person, because that would be like the worst thing to do. You already know you're prepared. And it's just really going to be a sign, sort of like a sign of the times for this person, where they and everybody else is going to know that they have reached their rock bottom. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. All right, so let's see what is coming through for you, beautiful being. I'm going to pull from this deck, and then we'll end with the Force Spirits, just to get some additional guidance for you. All right, thank you, Divine. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What do they need to know? Ooh. Yeah, focus. Keep your focus where it counts, on you. Keep your focus on your self-love. Keep your focus on your goals and what you want to create. Because everything else is just a distraction. That really was the first message that came through. Continue to focus on your power, on the power that you have, okay, within you, to create your success, to create what you wish to have. Oh, and this one was turned over. So Divine had already said, I saw with this aligned card, you see how she's at that waterfall, like going out to be with nature. Okay, so if you haven't been connecting with nature, then do that. It's going to be very healing for you. Very beautiful. Okay. And then we've got Forest Spirits. Well, that makes sense that I was drawn to Forest Spirits for you, because you're being guided to connect with nature. Okay. It's, yeah, something about the fairies. You might connect with the Fae. You might hear them. You might see them as well. But your clairaudience was already coming through loud and strong. Choices are extremely important at this time, because there are beings that want your undivided attention, I'm hearing. They want you to pay attention to them. But watching that show doesn't get you anywhere. You know, it's kind of like years ago. Oh man, that was probably like 15 years ago or so. I used to really want to stay at home, okay? And I was working full time, and I would watch Housewives on Bravo. And for a little while it was entertaining, you know. Some of them had some real funny things that they would say and whatnot, and it was cool. But then after a while it started to feel like a complete waste of time. I felt like I was just wasting energy, wasting time. And so it's something about that, like tuning into the show of this person, whoever this is trying to get your attention. It's a waste of time. If you want to look at it as like a dumb show that you would watch, and I'm not calling the Housewives show dumb, I'm just saying that I started to feel like it was a waste of my time, because I realized that there were other things that I needed to be doing, other things that I needed to be manifesting. You know, for a little while it was nice to see people, wives staying at home, because I wanted to spend more of my time relaxing and creating. But then I started seeing that like they weren't really doing the things that I wanted to do with my free time, so I needed to shift my focus. There's something about tuning into this person's energy that is a complete waste of time. There is nothing that would benefit you from doing that, okay? Enchanted. Well, look at that. Fairy. I'm telling you, the Fae are with you. The Fae are with you. So when you go outside, I feel like this is a combination of the fairies that are so drawn to you, and also where spirit is saying to get quiet. If you go outside, you will hear the fairies. You will connect with them. They will connect with you because they want to speak to you. All right. What else for this beautiful being? The owl spirit. Yeah, this is about your wisdom, your intuition. Access your intuition and trust your instincts as you seek deeper understanding. So you are a searcher of wisdom. And there's something about going outside, perhaps at night. Okay, be safe. But something about connecting with the night sky. You might hear some owls. Okay, I usually hear them early in the morning. There are a lot of trees where I live. Thank goodness. I'm so grateful for that. And so sometimes I will hear owls, but I usually hear them like really early in the morning. So yeah. Also, moon bathing is coming through for you. If you have like a deck, or like maybe a balcony, if you live in an apartment, or if you have a home and it's fenced, like your backyard, if you can put a hammock back there and just moon bathe, ooh, I love that. As the moon is fuller, you know, and it's bright, you can feel the moonbeams or see them. You might feel them too, the frequency, but you definitely will be able to see them. And just moon bathe. That's a very magical thing to do if you don't already do it. So yeah, connecting with nature. You got everything you need, beautiful being. You got your clairaudience, you got your wisdom, you got your lessons that you've learned, your strength that you've gained, your wisdom. You're good. Whoever this is trying to pose a threat, really all they're doing is setting themselves up for failure. And yeah, it'll hopefully be a wake-up call for them. A wake-up call. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I am so grateful that you allow them to flow through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscribes, your donations, your hypes, all of it. I love it. Thank you. And I love you. I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.